Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, I am on the hit gacha game Wuthering Waves. Now, of course, as always, I am a man who tends to follow his own advice, just as these pigeons over here seem to be following me. In which I mean that I did take a break from Wuwa for quite a while, quite obvious to my Wuwa viewers, because my content for Wuwa has basically been non-existent for quite a while now. And because of that break, I am enjoying this game again, right? I recently got interested a few days back because Jing Ron is upcoming. However, not only this, Chisa finally has a couple teams that she's actually really best in slot for, which I have been waiting for since her release, meaning I did end up pulling Yangyang in a stream I did today. The plan is to get Yangyang, to get Sui upcoming obviously because that is her best in slot, Chisa in the future, and then Jing Ron in 3.6, right? Now, I know what a lot of you are going to say, that's pretty heavy, it is, admittedly. However, the thing is, because I took such a long break from Wuwa, I do have quite a few open world pulls waiting for me. If I had to imagine, at least 30, most likely 40 plus in that range. And then of course I have this patch's pull count, and I have the next patch's pull count, and I also had a few pulls already saved up from just logging in every once a while to farm echoes, right? You guys can actually see the proof in the pudding over here that even though I haven't necessarily been playing it actively, I have been farming echoes every here and then. I have 13,000 tuners, 1,000 echo gold XP, and 1.3k purple echo XP, right? And I'm currently looking forward to farming for all these characters. Now, I will say, I did for some reason forget that, just like many other gacha games, this game does have weekly mats, so it's gonna take me a bit to max out Yangyang, and then max out Sui, and then max out Jing Ron. But what I did try and do was get a jump ahead on the echo farming. So as you can see, I'd like to say that I have decent echoes on Yangyang currently. I have 3 good subs here, I have 3 good subs here, 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here. This one is definitely the one that's the easiest to improve, which I will do when I get a better option. However, for now, I feel like this is fine, right? These are my Yangyang stats. She has 71% crit rate, 240% crit damage. I believe this should be a good amount of ER gen. I think it's good enough. And there's 28% heavy attack damage bonus. I do plan to get her signature soon. I'm at like 45 plus pity for it, so that's also going to be an upgrade for her because I went to check on Pride when what the weapon's value is, and I saw that it was basically around 30%. Whenever a sig is 30% plus, I'm usually interested in grabbing it. Ameth's is less than Yangyang's jump, so I'd rather have Ameth on EOG and Yangyang on her signature since she is more signature reliant, right? And I've also gotten the jump on pre-farming for Jing Ron a bit. Now this one's a bit risky because he's an HP scaler supposedly, and HP scalers, if he's like, let's say, a cart situation, it is possible that he doesn't even want 3 costs, and he'd prefer double 4 costs with triple 1 costs, all on HP percent. However, I'm just going to go out on a limb and just make some 3 costs ahead of time anyways, which is what I did, right? So here I have what would be a 3 substat 3 cost for him, 8% crit rate, 15% crit damage, and 8.6% HP percent substat. This one is also similar. Unfortunately, I couldn't get crit damage on this last stat. I instantly upgraded it 4 times and I saw this lineup, I was like, oh my god, please give me crit damage. Because for those who don't know, he is leaked to be an HP % heavy attack damage dealer. So all 4 of these substats are absolutely perfect. It would have been absolutely phenomenal to get that, but it is what it is. And then we have this god tier 1 cost, right? This is crit rate almost at cap %. Crit damage is low, but I prefer consistency in crits anyways. Heavy attack damage bonus, and as well as some base HP. And then we have this one over here. This one is also a 3 roll with double crit and as well as HP %. And the 4 cost I haven't rolled on yet because I'm not completely sure, depending on his signature weapon, whether he would prefer crit rate or crit damage. Going off of his echo set, which gives him 20% crit rate, you'd assume that his weapon might be crit rate as well, meaning his 4 cost would prefer to be crit damage, but you don't know for sure yet, and his beta is close enough anyways, so I'd rather just wait instead of wasting my shit, right? But yeah, I'm having fun playing Wuwa again. Genuinely. This is the thing. I always tell people this. I don't hate Wuwa. My problem with Wuwa is that I'm a lazy person. As I get older, I get more tired of these open world games because in comparison to something like HSR, sure, you can make the argument that HSR is much less of a game than Wuwa. To be honest, I would not disagree. However, HSR is just so goddamn time convenient, so easy to play on mobile devices, that when I'm more busy, when I'm more just not interested in playing, this type of open world game and grinding this stuff, I would just prefer to play HSR, and I get burnt out quickly from this. But now that I've taken a long enough break, and I feel like I'm finally in a period where I'm interested in playing this game again, it feels nice. And Mengzhou looks, bro, this region looks absolutely amazing, right? Now, yes, I am one of the people who complains about the fact that this game is way too focused on just increasing the graphics instead of improving the optimization. However, good news, there has been, I believe, like a recent leak that in some of the upcoming 3.x patches, one of these patches is going to be completely dedicated towards performance optimization, which hopefully that ends up really helping people out on lower end devices, mobile devices, and especially consoles. I've seen a few videos at this point where people are sharing their gameplay on console, and it just looks like an absolute shit fest, which is just so unfortunate, because I'm sure console players would actually be a decently sizable market for this game and even other games, because I believe ZZZ also has a pretty sizable console market, right? So yeah, I'm having fun playing Wuwa again. I pulled Yangyang. I plan to get her signature soon. I plan to try and get Sui Sui soon and Chisa in the future. And I also want to get Jing Ron. Once again, I know this is a hefty ask. However, I'm going to go for it anyways. If I can't get everything I want, then I couldn't get everything I want. The reason I went for Yangyang, outside of also just me really enjoying the fact that Chisa finally has a good team, is also the fact that I actually did her trial and I found her animations to be, I like this. I like the way her gameplay is. She looks kind of elegant, right? She looks like she's doing all these attacks with finesse, which is actually one of my favorite types of sword combat in these types of games. So I'm a complete sucker for her animations, despite how mid, in my opinion, I think the res lib is in comparison to the rest of them. It doesn't matter though. She looks so badass, she's cool enough. I'm gonna fold for her anyways. Well, technically I already did, but you get what I'm saying, right? So yeah, just a quick update video on Wuwa. This does not mean that I'm going to start making a shit ton of Wuwa content again, though. I did have some people come to my stream and ask about this. I would prefer to play the game at my own pace, and if a little later on I do feel like making content about the game, I will. But currently, I'm not really in that mood to go like full content creator mode on this game, because I'd rather take the time to enjoy it while I'm enjoying it, instead of burning myself out by forcing myself to make videos when I'd rather just play the game and grind my own things. Hope you guys can understand. Love you all. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.